For sublimation printing, we use a program called LibreOffice. It's this little white icon down in the bottom. Go ahead and click on it to open it. Now I'm going to go to Insert, Image, and I have some images preloaded. I'm going to select this one and go to Open. I'm going to be making coasters. So I know coasters are 4 inches, so I want it to be just a little bit bigger than 4 inches. So I'm going to make that 4.15. And if you keep ratio, keep that checked, it will keep it square. So now I know I can put 2 of these on one sheet. So I'm going to go to Insert Image again. I'm going to select these cute puppy dogs, go to Open, and I'm going to type in 4.15 again. And I'm just going to line that up on my sheet, give it a little room. The next step we're going to do is to print this. So we go to File, Print. This is a very important step. Now it comes up Sawgrass SG1000. What you want to select is Sawgrass Print Manager. So make sure you're watching for this, that it's Sawgrass Print Manager. And then you want to do Print. It brings up another box. It brings up the Print Manager. So we can select different substrates, so metal, ceramic mug, slate, stainless steel tumbler. We're doing coasters, which are made out of the same material as mouse pads. So we're going to select mouse pad. It's always high quality paper, print quality. It's always type A paper, and the source is always tray 1. And you always want to have it mirrored so it prints out correctly. Then we are going to go to print. The next thing we need to do once we hit print is open up the tray on the printer. This white printer is our Sawgrass SG1000. This is only used for sublimation. I'm going to pull out a piece of 8.5 by 11 sublimation paper. You always want to put the paper in word side up into the tray. And make sure the tray is set for 8.5 by 11. Then you gently lift it back up, push it in as far as it'll go, pull out the lid, and then the upper part that catches the paper. And now it'll print. And now we have our prints, and they should be mirrored, which they are. The next thing we're going to do is take our print, grab a scissors, and we are going to cut off some of this white paper. So I like to leave enough room around the pictures. The next step is to take our pictures and our coasters and put the coaster white side down. And you can see that the picture's a little bit bigger than the coaster, and that helps so you don't have to try to line it up exactly on the line. We're going to use this blue tape. The blue tape is heat-resistant tape, which is good to use in the heat press. You only need to tack it down on a couple sides. So I'm doing each of those. All right, these are ready to go in the heat press. The next thing we have to do is turn them over because we want the word side up in the heat press. Then we have to grab some copy paper, which I'm going to do from the drawer under the table that we're at. We use copy paper as blowout paper. And what that means is that once you apply heat and pressure to your picture and paper, that the ink is going to blow out a little bit, and we want to be able to catch that in the paper to keep everything clean on the heat press. You can see over on the wall by the big blue heat press is our sublimation material settings guide. So you want to make sure you're checking that when you're going to use different materials. So I checked the material guide and it's 400 degrees and a minute 15 for the mouse pads, which is the same material as the coasters. To adjust the time, you can use these arrows to go up and down. And to adjust the temperature, you just hit the temperature button. And now the goal for this is to get it up to 400 degrees. So we have to wait a little bit. Give yourself about 20-25 minutes for the heat press to warm up. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put a piece of copy paper or blowout paper down on the bottom of the heat press. We're going to take our two coasters and put them on top of that copy paper, word side up. Then we're going to place another piece of paper on top of that. Now keep in mind that this part, the bottom, does not have any heating element in it, but it will get warm. And I'm just going to move up a little bit. So you can see this part, this is the platen, this gets to be 400 degrees. So you do want to watch working around it. Once the heat press beeps at you and says ready, it may be 396 or 400, you are good to go to use the heat press. You will go ahead and stand on the step and use two hands to grab the bar, pull the heat press down, and then you are going to lean into it till you see the bottom line on the display showing 3 or 4. That is the pressure that we need for this material. Now it's counting down with the timer, so you want to make sure that you're holding it with both hands for the whole time. It's going to beep at the last 3 seconds, so keep holding it till it gets to 0. Then lift it back up. And they're a set of pink gloves. You want to go ahead and put those on, your heat resistant gloves. And then you can go ahead and take this off. Now you can see that the blowout paper did its job. It has some ink on it. And we're going to go put our coasters on the table to let them cool down. One other thing to mention is that we do have a fume extractor, so you should have that running when you're using the heat press. I didn't have it running during the video, but to show you how, just take this remote and then point it to the box underneath the table and you'll hear it turn on. When you're done, again, point the remote under the table and turn it off. And that's it. The copy paper goes into recycling and the paper with the words on it and the tape goes into the garbage. Once your material has cooled down, you can pick them up and go ahead and take the tape off and the printer paper. And that part will go in the garbage. So there you have a nice coaster. We'll do the same with the other one. Take the tape off and the printer paper, and you have another coaster. And you can see again that the blowout paper did pick up some ink, so we'll put that in recycling.